Summarized the game without watching the tape, obviously. Started the game out on certain sides of the ball, trying our hardest to lose the game. But the thing I think is so special about this team is this team knows how to win. Over the last 3 years, we've created a culture that the players expect to win. And they find ways to win. It's not always pretty. Sometimes the offense plays really well. Sometimes the defense plays really well. Sometimes it's special teams. Sometimes it's special teams stepping up for us. A lot of different ways. People playing well. So really excited about that. Some things that I rattle off to you that I think are important stats that Larry Leathers gave us is 8 straight wins in November, which is a dramatic stat, especially considering before we arrived, Vanderbilt was 3-32 in the 10 years prior to before we got here in the month of November. First time beating UT 2 times in a row since the 1920s. Another example of this team just finding ways. We lost all 4 of our starters in the secondary. Lost all 4 of our starters in the secondary. Next guy goes in, does his job. Next guy goes in, does his job. Next guy goes in, does his job. Next guy goes in and does his job. Not one person flinched. Very, very proud of the guys. 4 turnovers on offense, 3 big turnovers on defense. Typically, you go on the road, you turn the ball over 4 times in the SEC, you're going to have a hard time being successful. But once again, this team just finds ways to win. We've been building this culture. And a lot of different people have worked really hard on it. First of all, the players, the administration, all the assistant coaches, the fans, the community, everybody has worked extremely hard to change the culture. And Vanderbilt now has a culture, and that culture is we expect to win week in and week out, at home, on the road, in conference, out of conference. And that's a very, very valuable thing. Tremendous respect for the University of Tennessee. Tremendous respect for their coaches. I think Coach Jones does a great job. Their fans. This is an impressive place. This is what we're trying to create at Vanderbilt, a home field advantage. But all the respect to the University of Tennessee. I hope they stay healthy and finish out the year well.
James,
open up to questions.
James, what could you see on Austin's 4th down sneak in terms of the spot, and how confident were you it would get overturned?
Those things are outside of our control. We thought that we had the first down. After that, it's out of our hands, and you'd like to get to the point where you don't put yourself in that position, that you clearly make it obvious that you've gotten the first down without having to go to the review. But I know our coaches were really confident in the booth. The players were really confident that they had got the first down. Leave it at that.
Take us through that final drive, Krause's involvement over the middle, and just what you guys did to change things up on that drive.
Yeah, I thought, Krause made some big plays for us, which we needed to. We need to get some other guys involved with what's going on for us right now. We've lost some guys, so we've become a little bit predictable and a little bit one-dimensional. But again, that's part of this time of year in the SEC. You lose guys, and other guys have got to step up. And that's going to be our focus this week, getting some other guys to step up. We got to diversify the offense a little bit, but I did like the fact that we were able to use Pat Robinette. He had a bigger role in the game. We just can't turn the ball over. That's all of us. And that's something we've done a great job. I think we were one of the top teams in the country in protecting the football in terms of fumbles. So that was uncharacteristic of us.
James, you said earlier in the week leading up to the game, it's not a rivalry yet. Is it now, or what still has to happen to make this a great rivalry?
We're 1-0 this week, and really excited about being 1-0. I'll let all the people outside of our locker room and Magoogan, our building, call it what they want to call it. I've said that it hasn't been a rivalry because it hasn't been as competitive as it needed to be long term. I'll let everybody else decide that. We're happy about being 1-0. We're going to enjoy this win until about 12 o'clock, or is it past 12 o'clock already? 11. We got an hour to enjoy this, so we're going to enjoy the next hour. Well, I'll say 3 hours because the bus ride's 3 hours. So we'll enjoy it for 3 hours, and then tomorrow we play. Who do we play next week? We play Wake Forest, and we'll start focusing on Wake Forest.
Final drive, there seemed to be a sense of calm with your team. Does that stem from you? No,
I wouldn't know if I would describe myself as the most calm person. That would not be the first word. But I do think there comes a sense of confidence that this team, we're going to find a way to win. Whether it's fumble recovery, an interception, a big play. We've shown it time and time again over the last couple of years. So I do feel like the fact that we've been in this position before and our kids understand that, and we just continue to plug away, and we just continue to believe. Those kids in there, they believe in each other. That's the most powerful thing that we have, is they believe in each other. Everybody was in that locker room. Every single person in that room believed that we were going to win that game, the entire game. That's administration, that's the trainers, that's the doctors, that's the coaches. Most importantly, the players, our guest coaches. Coach Corb's here with us again. One of my best friends in the world. Has been an unbelievable support system for us since we arrived, so it's been good.
We saw Patton come at the end of the game, came at the end of last week, but he played a little more this week. Were there any reasons why you put him in for Austin, especially down the stretch?
We think Patton brings a little bit of mobility. He's a tough guy. He's a winner. He's not making these runs where he's shaking people with his quickness and going 70, but he grinds out tough runs when we need it. And really proud of him. Really proud of him. When he started those games for us, and then we decided to go with Patton, he didn't flinch. He had no issue with it, and when he had an opportunity, he's made plays. He was one of the guys come up and thanked me, gave me a big hug, and then the guy said, "I don't know why you're thanking me. You did it." I tell the team all the time, we'll be as good as they decide to be. This is their team. These guys have taken ownership in this program, and they've invested. They've invested in themselves, and they've invested in the program. And when you have that, you got a chance to be successful.
I've got to get 2 more questions, guys. I got to get through.
Hey, Coach, you walked off the field 2 years ago after a tough overtime loss here. What was it like to walk off this field with a win tonight?
It's awesome being 1-0. It's a great win for us. It's a great win for our program. No different than Austin P was in the beginning of the year, and Kentucky and all the other people. It's another win for us, and really, really excited about doing it.
Is it fair to say, though, that's the difference, the culture of winning that you talked about, coming up a play short here 2 years ago versus not necessarily getting lucky breaks tonight, but your guys finding a way to keep believing and winning the game?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I don't think you can lay out how do you get there. It's these 3 things. It's not. It's 300 things.
Right.
And they figured that out. Through the guidance of the assistant coaches and the strength staff, Dwight Galt, what he does. It's all those things. It's the other 300 days a year that these guys are working when no one's watching, and how are they working, and are they holding each other accountable, and all those types of things. It's all the little things. So I'm very, very proud because it's not easy to create that, especially when it hadn't been there for 80 years. So creating it again, and that's not me. That's everybody involved in doing it. Very, very proud of it.
How much can you appreciate the fact that Robinette gets the game winner, he's from these parts, and maybe even more special than a guy like him to do that?
I'm really happy for all our kids from Tennessee. I'm really happy for all our kids from Georgia. I'm really happy for all our kids from California. All that stuff goes out the window. Where they came from is wonderful, but once they get to our place, they're part of our family. They're a part of our home. We are Nashville's team. And we believe that. We take a lot of pride in representing Nashville, take a tremendous amount of pride in representing Vanderbilt, and we take a tremendous amount of pride of representing the state of Tennessee. I think this is really good for the state. I truly believe that, and have all the respect in the world for the University of Tennessee.
Thank you very much, Coach.